This movie offers a comprehensive overview of the FTX and LS payment of $12.7 billion, covering a lot of material. Who or what is that? I am curious. The funding comes from Ripple as the source. The Chief Technology Officer (CTO) has stated that the XRP that is issued by Bank of America can be utilized for Ripple payments, which is the most recent trend in town. Determine who they are by making educated guesses about who they are. To put the cherry on top of everything, I have a video that will blow your mind if you are a fan of XRP and Ripple. AL, the individual who is going to address, is the one and only, the legendary figure, the stunningly beautiful attorney from San Francisco. He is going to speak to us shortly. It is clear to you, everyone. I would appreciate it if you could take a seat without further ado. Relax, take a seat, and find a responsible adult to spend some time with. And while we're drinking, why don't we pay with Bitcoin? There is a rise of 6,697 right in front of our eyes, and it has climbed by 5.72% over the course of the previous day. 7.58% of the United States dollar is leaving the dollar packets of both the United States dollar and the United States dollar cent. Ethereum is currently operational at a price of 26.36. It's not bad for 58.5 cents, and we're making some headway toward our goal of 60, will we? Why don't we try to break the 66? Before we go any farther, let's first demolish 69 and then soar past 75. I am curious about the sound of that. Even though it seems to be falling by 4.82%, the preceding hourly chart of the total market capitalization of cryptocurrencies reveals that it is making an effort to return to the positive side of the ledger. I solemnly swear that the amount of $214,200,000,000 FTX will, unfortunately, be required to make a payment to the court in the amount of $12.7 billion as part of the CFT settlement. As part of the agreement that was made between Al and FTX, Al will no longer be allowed to possess any digital assets. FTX and ALA will pay approximately $8.7 billion and then an additional $4 billion in disregard as part of the settlement for a lawsuit involving commodities, which includes Bitcoin and Ether. The Commodity Futures Trading Commission CFTTC, which is more commonly known as the CFTTC, states that the proposed deal was initially submitted early this summer, but it was waiting for a judge's approval. I am curious as to the origin of the $13 billion, as it appears to be a substantial sum of money. Is it possible that politicians have been using public monies to finance long-term investments in Bitcoin and Ethereum? If this is the case, where are the $13 billion? As a result of that, it is completely insane. What's up? If you give me 13 billion of you, I promise I won't disturb you ever again. I will use that $13 billion to buy an entire island or multiple islands, and I will even throw my very own island jumping party. Ripple's Chief Technology Officer is David Schwartz, the man who helped create the myth. David Schwartz, the Chief Technology Officer of Ripple, has explained whether or not a payment company can still utilize for its ripples, according to the fallacy that he states regarding the company's ability to make Ripple payments using XRP after the SEC's case injunction. It was recalled from Schwartz's comments in response to criticism and the community figure scam detective that Judge Torres not only fined Ripple $125 million for violating security regulations, but also issued an injunction prohibiting Ripple from violating security laws in the future by selling institutional XRP sales. This refers to the fact that the injunction was issued after the SEC lawsuit was filed, according to what is stated. There has been disagreement regarding this particular aspect of the ruling because it is not entirely apparent, especially to those who are not permitted by law to do so. Shrewd individuals such as myself, or those who were most recently deceived by detectives, say that the injunction bans Ripple from making use of previous transactions in the United States. It is important to note that the Ripple payment service, which was just recently released, now includes OLD as a component. David Schwartz responded to the statement that there is a distinction by saying, there is a distinction. According to Schwartz, the comment made by the Chief Technology Officer of Ripple implied that there is a difference between a company that uses XRP for its payment services and a company that sells XRP to institutions. As a result, individuals are looking for the on-demand liquidity workflow. And XRP can be utilized for Ripple's payment services. Is it possible for Ripple to continue selling XRP to institutions? In that case, you shouldn't be concerned about the reason. It is not necessary for you to be concerned because the institutions will have to acquire XRP from an ET in order to get it immediately if they want it. As I remarked during the live stream that took place on Wednesday, live broadcasts are incredibly incredible, and you should definitely tune in if you haven't already. The live broadcast that took place on Wednesday at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, I made it quite obvious that this has simply opened the floodgates. Since these institutions are now required to acquire an XRP exchange-traded fund ETF, the XRP ETF will serve as their exclusive source of XRP. Ripple and XRP are two cryptocurrencies that Bank of America is passionate about. This money is being moved, so please pay attention to it. Customers at Bank of America are now able to transfer 50% of their available funds digitally. There is nothing novel about the first section of this. Whether or not we want anonymous money to exist in the first place is the second question that has to resolve. The size, scope, and quantity of this issue are all relevant to the policy matter at hand. And it is at this point that you begin to observe individuals arguing. Do you believe that we do? Are you of the opinion that we want it? Based on my understanding, the reason the $100 note was the largest was because I do not believe you are interested in having it. Bills were drafted with the intention of bringing in income. It is more difficult to move without passing through a verifiable system, and I believe that this is a lesson that many economies have learned over the course of time. As they have decreased their denominations in order to increase the openness of the economy, it is helpful to have the ability to track, locate, and have money coming in, since we and the industry perform a significant lot of anti-money laundering and know your customer work. A wealth of fascinating topics are brought to your attention. Furthermore, that is essential for the maintenance of the law as well as other things. Therefore, in my opinion, that is not ideal. Speculation, I will give it some thought and let others argue it, but I feel that you are already aware of it before I do. It is not a novel concept to consider digital currency. The wire system is responsible for transfer of digital information. It is my intention to locate this patent belonging to Bank of America. It is common knowledge that the company has formed a partnership with Ripple and developed a number of patents that make use of on-demand liquidity. An employee of Ripple really sent a direct message to Alex Cobb when he originally announced the cooperation between the two companies on Twitter. The person informed him that they were not quite ready to make the announcement yet because they were working on a significant marketing campaign. People, we are not going to forget it. Both. The tweet and the story should be removed, thank you. It was done by him. Now, Alder asserts that Ripple will be required to pay a fine. During the course of 30 days, 15 million, as observed on CryptoWorld. This is the longer version that lasts for 6 minutes. Simply said, I would like for you to listen to a small piece of this. You should not be concerned because we will not be listening to the full 6 minutes. Due to the fact that Stuart has stated this, they will pay the fine within a period of 30 days. On the other hand, as soon as that P is paid over, Ripple and the SEC are required to sign the dotted line on the judge's final decision in order for them to consent to incur the fine. This means that the dispute has been concluded. Horus, everybody, as soon as this money is distributed, this is going to be a really bullish situation. It is with this that the final boom comes to an end. Dawn, he informed me that you have a deep respect for that. As a response to a judge who fined Ripple $125 million for violating federal securities rules through institutional sales of XRP, he referred to the proposal made by the SEC for $2 billion in fines and penalties as a preposterous demand. Have you given any thought to the fine of $125 million that was handed down by the court? We are really delighted with the outcome of the lengthy and drawn-out legal lawsuit that we brought against the Securities and Exchange Commission. Nearly 4 years ago, when the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) filed its initial action against Ripple, the business announced that it would defend itself against the lawsuit on behalf of the whole cryptocurrency market, the administration. The Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) has begun a legal war against cryptocurrencies, which is evidence that the chair of the SEC is opposed to them. My opinion is that they were unsuccessful in every aspect, including their attempt to demonstrate that a token